Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This week I went back to my alma mater and shot high school football under the lights, Friday night lights at Oswego, Illinois. They had a playoff game against a school called York. I had not been on this field since 1984 when I actually played there. So it was exciting for me to go back and shoot a playoff football game. Shooting sports is definitely my first love and my first passion when it comes to photography. That's where I really kind of learned photography, is in high school and shooting basketball and football and volleyball and whatever else. I was the video guy for the high school basketball team for a season. I think I got fired for some reason. I don't remember exactly why, but I'm sure it was probably a good reason. But yeah, so this week I'm going to share with you all the settings that I use when I shoot high school football, because typically the lights are not that great. I know a lot of fields now have artificial turf, which reflects the light up and makes it a little more photography friendly, because you get that light bouncing up and all around. And but typically high school fields don't have the best light, so I'm going to share my settings that I use, and I'll talk a little bit about why I use those settings, and hopefully you all will get some value out of that, and you'll be able to apply it to any sports or action photography that you want to use these tips or advice or settings. So these settings that I'm going to share with you are primarily for outdoor activities under the lights. So without any further ado, let's go. Alright, step number one, get there early. The game's supposed to kick off at 7, get there at 6. That way you can meet the officials, you can make sure you're going to be able to get on the field without any issues. You're going there, you probably know somebody, or you are asked to go there by a photo editor or team mom or something like that. So you should have no problems getting onto the field, but get there early so you are prepared for that possibility. Also, like I said, you can introduce yourself to the officials, make sure they know who you are, that you're supposed to be there, and most importantly, start working on your settings for that shoot. I personally am not a big fan of shooting warm-ups. That being said, if you're there shooting for the parents and you have to get pictures of a bunch of different kids, totally get it. That's the best time to do that. You know where they're going to be. You know they're going to be on the field. You know they're going to be in the action. So get those shots so the parents are happy and they've got pictures of their kids that they can look back on. And most importantly, the lights are not really going to change, especially if it's later in the football season. You won't have as much ambient light as you normally would. So the light shouldn't be changing too much. Get your settings down. Alright, as far as settings go, and again, this is just me. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. This is the right way to do it. Not saying that. This is how I do it. This is my preferred method. I shot our local high school team, football team, for 10 years or so, and did it for the moms and dads, and did it for the high school itself as well. So got a little bit of experience doing it, and this is what worked for me. Shooting with the Nikon D500 primarily. I use my D850 a little bit as well, so which is also a Nikon camera. Alright, so I like to keep things pretty simple, so I just set my ISO 6400. So I don't do auto ISO, never have. I will, if I need to change it during the game, I will. But typically 6400 was a good spot for me. Then I would shoot it wide open. So again, Nikon D500. I have a Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter lens, 2.8 lens, so I would shoot that wide open at 2.8. So now my ISO 6400, my aperture is 2.8, and that would usually get me a shutter speed of about 1/640th of a second, maybe even up to a 1,000th of a second. So there you go, I'm pretty locked in. As far as white balance goes, I just use auto white balance because I shoot raw images, and when you take these raw images into Lightroom, you can correct any issues that are going on with the white balance. And obviously, home games, I know I'm good. Away games, you don't know the lights usually. And that's where shooting in RAW is really gonna save you. So it's easy as that. Those are the settings that I use for outdoor, under the lights, Friday night football. I think my biggest piece of advice for shooting sports, any sports, is don't just look for the action. Of course, you want to get some cool action shots. You got the nice camera, you want to stop that action and get some really cool images, the ball in motion, someone, dunking the basketball or spiking the volleyball, whatever. I totally get that. But don't let that be the only thing you're looking for. Look for those quiet moments that people don't necessarily see. One player picking up another player, one coach, yelling out the play or something like that. Officials, people on the sidelines, people in the stands. Just those quiet, tender moments are as impactful as you catching that touchdown catch or the first down, that somebody got that was critically important. I mean, sports is about emotion, so look for that. Another huge piece of advice that I give anybody that is shooting sports or wants to shoot sports with a DSLR or mirrorless camera: back button focus. When you're shooting sports, you can shoot so much faster, and you're continuously focusing. You're gonna have a lot more hits when you start back button focusing instead of pressing the shutter halfway down and then taking the shot. Back button focus, and trust me, back button focus could be a video of itself. It stand on its own legs to just talk about how to do it and how to set it up and just how to get used to it, so on and so forth. Back button focus is definitely the way to go if you're shooting, whenever you're shooting any kind of action type of activity. I actually use back button focus all the time now. I've just gotten used to it. That's all I ever do. Taking pictures of the grandkids out in the backyard, back button focus. Picture of the dog, back button focus. Portraits, landscapes, I'm just addicted to back button focus, and you might end up being addicted to it too, so give it a try. All right, everybody. Hey, a little bit of a different video for your old buddy Double G today, so thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some value out of it. Hope the tips will help you when you go out and shoot wildlife, those eagles. Hey, Woody, get out and shoot a couple more eagle releases. Back button focus, Woody. You're going to love it, buddy. But with that, I am Garrick, and I am your very best friend in the whole wide world. So you all know the drill. Like it if you did, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.